So now I'm in the museum on Long Island. I actually forgot the name. I don't remember the name. Um, I don't remember the name. But inside a museum, they have a very big exhibit of actually what happened in Long Island during the 1910s to like the 1930s. And it actually proves the point that I was telling outside, where just the layout of the terrain really looks like it was a very industrial area where big machines moved around. And it's actually quite impressive. Like, there was a myriad of companies dedicated to aviation that set up shop on Long Island. Like, for example, here we have instruments, um, aircraft, wing parts, engines, and that's even without talking about like all the tooling and construction companies that had to work in this area in order to support the aviation industry. This one is amazing. This is one of the first gyroscopes that was on an airplane, and it was manufactured by Sperry Aeroplane, which was a Long Island company. And it's quite amazing. I never thought that today I was gonna get my answer to like what type of companies existed here to like make it look the way it is. By now, talking about today, right? There, there's a video on. There's a video that is talking about uh, what fields and on what places all of this, construction and manufacturing were going around. And, being on this area and just driving around, I can tell you most of it is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. There is a very huge mall that's called Roosevelt Field. And Roosevelt Field, on the video that I saw, they were talking about how it was one of the places where they held annual events to like do stuff about planes and events and shows and testing airplanes. Right now it's a mall, it's a gigantic mall, it's a beautiful mall, but yeah, these industries are no longer here. New York has become really very too expensive for manufacturing, and just the real estate value is so high that making stuff and researching stuff like this just doesn't make any sense anymore. And you can tell, but you feel it on like some places, on like how the roads move around, where the train paths go. Everything does make you feel a little bit like there were once factories here. And yeah, that's there were, but a long time ago. And this is the stuff that they made. I'm amazed that Long Island was such a huge place, had such a strong connection with flying, let's say. A 160 horsepower. Wow. Amazing. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like, just engines and engines and planes doesn't mean like just an engine and a plane. Just the parts that you need for making an airplane fly. It's a lot of stuff. Like, think about how many stuff has to go in a car just to make the car. It's not really just like the doors and the shell and the engine and that's it. There's a lot of stuff that has to be made for a car. Airplanes are the same way, you know. People fly them. You need seats. You need a little bit of comfort. You need safety. You need instrumentation. You need lighting. Then you need the actual stuff that you're gonna do with the plane. Let's say cargo area or research or photography. There's lighting that has to be on the plane. There's all this stuff that's expendable that has to be maintained, like, you know, the engine components, the fuselage components, the tires, the braking, the fuel moving industry. Like, it's a huge industry. Like, it requires a lot of stuff to maintain planes, and there was a huge industry around this area. You can see it somewhat, especially if you know what to look for. And yeah, this is the industry that was over there, flying planes and making planes. Never would have thought that was the industry that pretty much was around on Long Island.